Okay, so here we go. Example 1, simplified. M plus 5 all over 2m plus 10. So steps 1 and 2 tell you to factor the top and bottom. All right. So can the top be factored any further? No. So guess what? You don't. You leave it if it's not factorable. Think of it as prime, right? On the denominator, can you factor that any further? Good. Okay. So max, we are going to take out a 2. So what's left over max if we factor out a 2? Beautiful. Before and you go unhappily cancel, we want to take the denominator and we are going to set it equal to 0. Why do we do that? Why do we have to take the denominator and we have to set it equal to 0? What are we trying to find? I can't hear you. Restrictions, right? So if you have a fraction, can the denominator be 0 ever? No. So what we're trying to find is we're trying to find the exclusions. Okay, what is it that I need to take away or out of my domain so that I have a fraction? Does that make sense what it's asking? So take your denominator, which is 2 times m plus 5. And you have to do this before you cancel. And you set it equals to 0. Well, take each factor and you set it equal to 0. Well, is 2 ever equal to 0? No, so you ignore that. And in the future, if you see a constant number, you can always just ignore it. If m plus 5 goes to 0, what must m be? Negative 5. But we don't write m equals to negative 5. We actually need to state it to our domain. What is it that we need to exclude from the domain? That's right. So we write like this. M cannot be what? Negative 5. And that's what they mean by state the restriction. Okay. This is what they call the exclusion. Okay, restriction. So when they say state the restrictions or state the exclusion, it means the same thing. You tell me what the m or x or v, whatever variable we're using, cannot be. Now, what if m is negative 5? What would happen?
It wouldn't exist.
Yeah, it wouldn't exist because the denominator, it would make the denominator what? 0. Okay, now, can I simplify? Now that I've already stated the there's a restriction. Yeah. On the top, you have m plus 5. On the bottom, you also have m. So can I cancel those guys? When you cancel, is the top 0? No, it's 1. Good job, Val. So what's your final answer? 1/2. Is 1/2 the same as 2? No. If you write 2 as your answer, that would totally be wrong. Okay. Example 2. Factor out the top and bottom for me. If you don't remember how to factor, then sit next to your partner so you can work it out together. Kids, you're going to have 2 factors on the top and 2 factors on the bottom.
That's fine.
Did you get 5? Is finding the domain part of the answer?
Yep, finding the domain. It's the same thing as stating the restrictions.
5.
Oh, yeah.
You have plenty of space in your notes packet to do the work. If you factor by x using the x, use the x. If you guess a check, guess a check. If you need help in factoring, please come and see me at tutorial. You're not going to be very successful with this unit if you can't factor. Okay, we study factor in first semester and in algebra 1. Looks like most of you are near done or done with the factor. Okay, I'm just asking for the factors, okay? So listen up for Quinn's on here. Okay, factors. Alicia, what are the factors for the top numerator? That's okay, we'll wait for you. Good. X minus 7 times the quantity of x plus 7. Perfect. Now the bottom, when I was walking around, I saw a lot of you making an x. Okay, perfect. That's exactly, if that's how you have been doing it, perfect. Josh, what did you get for the two factors on the bottom?
X plus 7 and 5x, or 5 plus 1.
5x plus 1. Someone confirm that for me?
5 plus 1.
5.
No, it's 5x.
5 plus 1 is 6.
Someone confirm that for me. Thank you. Before you go and happily cross things out, you have to do what?
Equal to 0.
Take your denominator and set equal to 0. All right, here we go. X plus 7 times the quantity of 5x plus 1 equals to 0. Take each factor and set it equals to 0. So on the left-hand side, x is going to be what? Good. On the right-hand side, if you need to do a few more steps and do that, you first have to move the 1 over, so that's negative 1. Then next, what do? Divide both sides by 5. So now x equals to negative 1/5. Now we don't write the domain x equals, right? What do you write? X cannot. Would you guys agree? Because those are the value that we are excluding from our domain. X cannot be negative 7, and x cannot be negative 1/5. So that's the restriction. Okay. It didn't say it in your notes, but it wants you to do it. Okay. Then, can I cancel anything?
X plus 7.
That's right.
Plus 7.
Okay. Anything that's left from the top?
Yep.
What's left? That's right. All over what? That's right. And can I box that up?
Yes.
Perfect. Now example 3, 6x squared times y all over 3x squared plus 9x. Can you see on the numerator there's only one term? It's not separated by an addition or subtraction. How would you factor that? Do you need to? No, some of you already know how to do it and you don't have to. Now, in the case, you can always factor if it's not prime. If you like to break 6 down to prime numbers, what are the 2 prime numbers?
2 and 3.
Yeah, you can always factor when things aren't prime. X squared means how many x would you have? 2. So technically, you can still break that down. How about y? How many y do we have? 1. That's what it means by factoring, meaning rewriting it in multiplication. On the denominator, is it factorable?
Yeah.
What are you going to factor out? 3x. And what's left? X plus 3. Okay. Before we go and cancel, we should take the denominator and do what?
Set it to 0.
Perfect. 3x times x plus 3 equals to 0. Take each factor and set it equals to 0. All right, divide both sides by 3. X is what? 0. And then subtract 3 from both sides. X is? All right, so state your domain. This is the same thing as stating the restrictions of the domain. X cannot be what? Negative 3 and 0. Okay. Now can I reduce? What are you going to take out? The 3 and the 3. What are you going to take out next? The x and the x. So what are we left with on the numerator? 2 times x times y all over x plus 3. Good job. Box it up. If I'm going too fast, let me know, okay? Okay. Next one. So this one, it's really talking about when you can cancel and when you can't. Okay. Okay. What are you really doing when we are using the word cancel? Okay, here are some cases. I guess we'll just let that go by. They're testing it. We're near the ocean. They're just testing. Okay. All right. Ready? This is always a confusing topic for some of us. 3y minus 4 divided by y minus 4 versus 3 times the quantity of y minus 4 all over y minus 4. Okay, I'm going to do this, and then you tell me it's legal or not legal. Ma'am, answer 3. Oh, there you go.
That's not correct.
That is illegal.
Illegal?
Yeah, that's what
It is legal in my eyes if that's how you get it.
Is that right? Can I do that?
No. Yes, it is.
It's frozen. No, you may never do that. Okay. Now, if you read this, you can only cancel if the operation is, that's right, not or subtraction. You're right, not addition or subtraction, okay? So here's why. Let me just kind of put numbers in perspective. If I give you 5 minus 4 all over 8 minus 4, cancel, whoa. It's frozen, I mean, so. Oh. There you go.
Like Minecraft. Hey, let's play Minecraft. Skyler. Show us your ways. Oh.
It's thinking. It's not thinking. It's frozen. Yay! Whew. It just flashes. Okay.
Looks like we're going back to the old lessons.
Don't we love technology?
In search of Skywise High.
A who?
That's me.
Oh.
Guys, let's walk on the water.
All right, here we go. All right. So put these. I want to put this. If we do this the right way, what's the final answer?
1/4.
Perfect. If we don't do it right, and then cancel the fourths, would you agree that you don't get 1/4? Okay. So when you have an addition or subtraction, can you cancel? No. Over here, can you cancel? Because this is really technically 3 times, okay? That's right. Over here, technically, this is really 1 times y minus 4. So I can cancel that and make this equal to a 3. But on the left-hand side, it is definitely not okay to cancel. Over here, 5. Which one is okay to cancel, which one's not?
Right is okay to cancel.
Right is okay to cancel. Left is not. The reason is, if I cancel the 7s, Would you agree that now this is just 3? Is 3 identical to 10 divided by 7? No. So this is not okay. On the right side, can I cancel the 7?
Yes.
Yes. Because that's now 3. 21 divided by 7 is also 3. So on the right side, it's okay. On the left side, it's not. So the rule of thumb is you may not cancel unless they are multiplying. That's why the word factored. The factors are meaning what? Two quantities doing what? Multiplying. Okay? All right, last 2 examples, and you are done. How come we don't have to do 8? What example was that? That's right. Good eye. Same as... Okay, so we have 6 and 7. 6 and 7. Both said you need to factor out the numerator and... All right, you and your team, go for it. What? The difference of 2 cubes?
Miss Tran-bloom, we're already past that. We
I
can
know.
bring it back again.
You're right. You just have to show me. I don't need to show you.
What?
Who remembers sum and difference 2 cubes? What's the formula and only the formula?
The formula for the difference, it's a minus b, and then it's a yeah, a plus a squared. Oh, it's a squared plus b.
B
Squared.
square. Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, if you don't remember this, should you write this down?
Yes.
Please. All right. Now, on your question, you have x to the third minus 27. Justine, what would a be the same as what in our problem? A would be equivalent what? X. Perfect. Okay. B will be equivalent to what, Delaney? Close. Not a negative. Just what? Just 3. Okay. Guys, the formula, it's already a cubed minus b cubed. Okay. So, we are going to factor out the numerator, the bottom. Okay, so tell me, please, in the 2 quantities above, Kylie, can you fill that in?
X minus 3 and x squared plus 3x plus 9.
Beautiful, good job. On the bottom, Amina, in the bottom, do we have any common factor that we can factor out? It's 5. If you take out a 5, what's left? Beautiful. Guys, before we go and cancel, we should do what?
Equal to 0.
Set it equals to 0. So 5 times x minus 3 equals to 0. Do I need to worry about the 5?
No.
No. So we can go x minus 3 equals to 0. X is at 3. So the restriction is the domain is all real numbers except when x is at
3.
That's right. I know. I got confused with my wavy thing and 3. I had to do it a couple times.
Positive 3, by the way.
Okay. Oh, good eye.
Wow, G.
Good eye. After I wrote waving a couple of times, I lost track of the positive 3. All right, now can I cancel?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Cancel. What am I going to box up? X squared plus 3x plus 9 all over 5. Okay. Now, here's a question to some of us. What if on the bottom, you guys have, we're going to switch these, okay? What if the top has 5x minus 15 and the bottom has x to the third minus 27? Would you agree that the factors just be switched?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you're still going to be able to cancel this out, except now this answer is now switched. How would you, remember, we have to find the exclusions. How would you solve this since it's not factorable any further? It's not factorable any further. What would you do, Danny?
You have to use the quadratic formula.
Right. So be mindful. Factoring is just one of the ways to solve. You can use quadratic formula. You can graph it out. You can even complete the square. Okay, just to remind you of the few. Last question of the notes. Number 7. You can do 7. You already know how to do it. What would you do if this is on your test? What would you do? Okay. 42 is really what?
6 times 7.
Okay, 6 times 7.
Well, we can factor.
You can factor further. X, y is really y times y. All over. 18 is what times what? Sure, 6 times 3. Y to the 7th. How many y's is that?
7.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. All right. Now, cancel things out. We should take the denominator and what? Set equal to? 0. Okay, help me solve. What are you going to do first? Divide both sides by?
18.
Sure. 0 divided by 18 is 0. What are you going to do now to undo a power of 7? 7th root. Okay. Here's my question to you. What's 7th root of 0? 0. That's all that is. Okay. So the domain is all real numbers excluding at when y is 0. Okay. Now, let's go back to our cancellation. Can I cancel anything? 6 and 6. How about x's? Nope. 2 y's. So final answer, what would you say? 7x over 3y.
Fifth power.
Okay. But here's something I want to bring up.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Back in Algebra 1, when you study simplifying, instead of writing it out like 7 times, like on your test, I could easily make this 18y to the 77th power. Are you going to sit here and write it 77 times?
Oh.
Back in Algebra 1, what did you do instead of writing it all out? That's right. You can also subtract if you are dividing, okay? So if you subtract y to the 7 and y squared, how many are remaining? 5. That's what we should have. All right, take out your homework.